Hi and welcome to Askimo TV. We're talking today to Michael Serwa. Michael is a London-based life coach and public speaker. He's worked with hundreds of people on a one-to-one basis. He's run over 150 talks, workshops, and seminars. Hi, Michael. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me, John. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you, Michael. Michael, today we're going to be having a discussion about personal development, time management, and the work-life balance. So let's begin with, personal development is quite a broad term. What exactly does it mean, and what areas does it include?
It's not a particularly easy question to answer, even though my whole life is about personal development, but it's like, what's life? Try to answer that. For me, personal development is everything that involves becoming better versions of ourselves. And there will be so many branches of personal development. I myself, even before I got into coaching, I spent a number of years, working on myself, different areas of my life. And, there's 1 year I spent working on my spirituality, right? Then year and a half I spent on, my dating skills, for example. There's so many different aspects, and all of that for me was part of personal development. And I think every action we take towards becoming better, like I said, versions of ourselves will be part of personal development.
What are some typical problems that cause personal development issues in the workplace?
In the workplace in particular, yeah. Number one problem would be work-life balance, which is not quite there, right? So either working too much and having very little life outside of work, or having very wild life outside of work and not being very productive at work. And usually because we don't like what we do, right? So the balance, I think one of the key elements in personal development and happiness is the word balance. And that will apply also to our work-life balance, hence the branch of personal development called work-life balance. Such an important thing.
So if we were to look at time management, what would you say are some of your top tips for helping people improve their time management? And why is time management important in the workplace?
Okay. In an ideal world, I would start with the ideal world and I will get back to reality. Okay. In an ideal world, when I get to the place I got to, when your work is not work anymore, when you wake up every day and it doesn't matter for you if you have a busy day ahead of you, kind of work-wise or not, because everything is one. And for me, there's not such thing like work-life balance, because for me, everything is a lifestyle. So there's not such thing like work-life balance. And at the same time, I appreciate that it was very fortunate of me to get to this place. And vast majority of us, I would say more than 95% of people, either do something they don't necessarily like, or they do something they just like, and therefore there's still an issue of work-life balance. So coming back to your question, or getting back to reality right now, if let's say we are on a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 kind of Monday to Friday job, and it's okay. So what do you think about your job? It's okay, which is what we get from most of people. Now, very often, especially when people are young, there's this idea that, oh my God, I have to work super hard. I have to show my bosses that I care so much. And what happens is they work a lot. And I know that because, I have lots of friends and lots of people come to me like for coaching, and they have this problem. They've worked very hard for a couple of years and they've neglected their personal lives. It's just work, trying to impress the boss. That's often, you never try to impress the company, because company is people, so you try to impress the boss. And if you have a great boss, which is rare, he will appreciate that, she will appreciate that, and it's kind of like, okay, at least you get the appreciation out of it. But most of the time, you just work your ass off, and you get nothing from it, And the thing is, if you work your ass off on your own business, it's a different story, because you invested in your future. If you work your ass off for a boss who's an ass, right, you get your paycheck, and then you need 2 life coaches when by the time you reach 30, right, and a doctor, because, and a couple of retreats. And yes, you have lots of money, but you're not happy. So what's the point of having the money? If you don't have health, if you don't have happiness. So number one thing would be to realize that life is not about a job. But if your work is your lifestyle, like in my case, that's a different story. That's why I started with that, to exclude this part from the equation. But if your job is just a job, it's just a job, it's not your life. So you don't think, okay, I'm going to go there for 40 hours, maybe 45. I will do my best, but I want to do amazing things outside of work. Because the thing is, this is what lots of people miss. They don't see that. The thing is, the happier you're going to be outside of work, the more productive you're going to be at work. That's why lots of companies hire coaches to help their staff have better personal life, because they understand, the owners of these companies, they understand that the happier the employees will be outside of work, the more productive they're going to be at work, which is just the way it is. And on the other side, the happier we are at work, if we do something that we at least like, at least we don't dislike, obviously we're going to leave work feeling happier. We'll feel like doing more things outside of work. And it's amazing how you can go for 8 hours doing one thing and finish at 6 and feel like, I just want to go to sleep. And on the other side, you do something that you even remotely enjoy and you feel like doing things afterwards. So it's not about 8 hours, it's about what you do during these 8 hours.
Is there anything, any practical tools or techniques that you can share with people to help them create the ideal work-life balance, or perhaps to even see where they're out of balance?
I think number one is to really look. Before I answer this question directly, the first thing, the most important thing, is to look at what you're doing. It's like I said, if you do the best thing you could do, if you live your life from a place of passion, there's no such thing like work-life balance anymore, because you just love what you do. And there's not such thing like work-life balance anymore. So first of all, what you want to do is, like, if you really struggle with work-life balance, ask yourself, am I doing the thing that I'm supposed to be doing in my life? And if the answer is no, spend some time on exploring other possibilities. Somebody who's telling me, listen, I do that, but there's no choice, it's bullshit. Because there's so much choice in everywhere, but especially in cities like big cities like London. There's so many options, And I understand it's very easy to get used to having a comfortable job. By comfortable, I mean kind of safe job that I get a paycheck after every month. It's very comfortable to find yourself in a situation where you've been doing something without really enjoying it for years. But then sooner or later it's going to come back to you, And I believe we all have some talents. We all have different talents. I'm certainly not talented in everything. So it's about, when you work for yourself, it's about finding people that can give you something you don't have, like bring to the table something you don't have, right? But if you do find yourself in a situation where, whether it's temporary or long-term, whatever, when you do something you don't particularly enjoy, it's about managing your time. So one of the biggest problems when it comes to work-life balance is that you leave work and you think about work even after work. Especially people like when I work with directors and CEOs, it's like stress all the time. And I say, okay, very simple thing I want you to do. Every day before you leave work, I want you to spend 5 to 10 minutes on planning your next day. Because usually what they think about after leaving work on Monday is all the things they need to do on Tuesday. But the thing is, the moment you write them down and okay, so I don't need to worry about what I'm going to do on Tuesday because I just written everything down, it works like magic. And it's a very simple exercise. It's very easy to do. The only problem is it's also very easy not to do. Right? Because, it's just additional 10 minutes, but it's very simple if you do it. In the worst case scenario, you can do it on your BlackBerry or whatever, iPhone, in a train back home as well, right? It's only 5 to 10 minutes, and the more you're going to do it, the more often you're going to do it, the easier it will become, because it will just become mechanical, kind of bam, 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 and I know what I'm going to do the next day, And in the same way, we want to plan our week. So I have my clients, the clients that work like they have jobs. I ask them to plan their weeks on a Sunday. So they take half an hour or 1 hour out of the Sunday. Yeah, wives complain sometimes about it, or husbands, if you're talking to a woman, but it is what it is. You can't please everybody, always. Half an hour, 1 hour out of your day on Sunday to plan your week. Right? This very simple exercise, very simple and very effective. Just planning.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.